All religions say to us that to live is to suffer, and nowhere is that more true than in the jungle. In the world of the jungle, every one of your weaknesses is exposed and exploited. If you are not strong enough, a bigger animal will come along and tear you to pieces. Parasites will crawl up into your body and suck the nutrients out of it. Stronger tribes will come in, kill all the men and rape all the women and take everything you have. The weather is constantly cycling through extreme cold and blistering heat, wearing away at your defenses, your immune system and your skin. In the jungle, the vulnerable get crushed and consumed and ripped apart. This is the true reality of life. And to survive in the jungle, you need to have immense strength. You need to be extremely smart. You need to be able to outwit. You need to always find a way to overcome vulnerability. You need to find a way to be strong. And if you fail, it is proof that you are not good enough. It is the cold, harsh answer Mother Nature gives to your attempt at life, and that is a "I do not care about you at all," a brutal rejection. She will allow you to suffer and die and be consumed. She will not think twice about your pathetic little feelings. She will let you rot. And so every animal has adapted a strategy in order to overcome this ruthless chessboard that is the jungle. And the strategy that human beings have developed is a very, very interesting one. We have decided to go all in on this motherfucker. We have decided that we must grow big brains and become very smart so we can build big cities and machines that will protect us from the brutal animals that live in the jungle. But brains are soft and mushy and they take a lot of energy. So in order to build a human, we have to spend a long time incubating them. They have to spend a long time in the oven. And so when a baby is born, it's not even a fraction finished. The baby still has another 20 years before they'll be fully grown and ready to take on the harsh world of the jungle. And so what we do as humans is we create safe spaces to protect them, to allow them to grow. The first of these is our mother's arms, which is so soft and gentle. She cares for us, she gives us everything we need, and we are comfortable and safe from the cold, harsh world. But then the second safe space becomes the society itself. The society with its walls around it that keeps out the animals and all the bad men. The society that allows us to go to school and become educated, allows us to play, allows us to learn how to express our minds and release ideas and become competent with our mercurial nature as human children. But there is a dark side to this, because at some point we need to get ripped out of these safe spaces and thrown into the jungle where we can learn the true demands that Mother Nature puts on us. And so this is where we get the first major psychological problem of humanity. The safe spaces that we need to incubate ourselves, they keep us soft, they are addictive, and they are comforting. Because unlike nature, they expect nothing from us. And we become very comfortable being inside Mother's nest. And it can become very hard to leave Mother's nest and jump off that cliff and risk the scary fall. Instead, there's an urge to stay in Mother's nest and become a soft boy. And worse still, a soft boy who knows it all. A soft boy who sits there in his baggy clothes and plays the video game and probably gets bullied in school a bit, but mum tells him everything is alright. The soft boy who's scared to go talk to people, doesn't feel like he's popular enough, wishes he could be better, wishes he could do something, but can't find any meaning in life, can't find any way out apart from sitting there with that computer and just playing away, having those grand adventures on that screen, watching movies, hanging out with his bros. No real goals, no real big ideas at all. Being a nice chilled out dude, you know, being open-minded, listening to that Joe Rogan, knowing what's going on, but never really taking any risks. Staying in that little house that mummy and daddy built for us. But see, the problem here is that if you refuse to take that leap, like the little bird, and risk falling down and getting crushed on the rocks, you also sacrifice the possibility that taking that leap would make your wings open up for the first time and allow you to truly see just how majestic and high you can fly. Soft boys who know it all strut around their little house with their video games, thinking they are kings of the world because the only kingdom they've ever seen is the one built for them. And it's quite hard to tell someone like this to go to the jungle and fight a lion, because they would see that as uncivilized, as pointless. And so we need to think of a way that we can burst that bubble that isn't as ridiculous as go live like the Spartans did. There is one thing that always works, and that thing is Whamen. Whamen's burst. Whamen's burst bubbles, because Whamen expect something out of men. And that expectation is ruthless. You, despite being a soft boy who knows it all, you still have instincts. You will see a beautiful Whamen, and you will get a desire to be with her. And you will approach her and say, "Hello, beautiful Whamen, let us be together." And she will look at you and she will go, "Ugh." And she will say, No, you soft boy, away from me." And then you will be crushed, and you will retreat back into your safe space, that kingdom that your sweet mother made for you, and you will turn off the lights and shut the curtains and get down on your knees in the dark blackness of your sorrow, scratch your face and say, "What is wrong with me? Why, Creator, have you forsaken me? Why have you made me ugly? Why have I been rejected by the Whamen? All I wished to do was respect her so hard. Respect her until she could not remember her name. Respect her until she could see colors. All I wished was positive, good things. But instead you are crushed by that feeling of rejection which says to you, you, soft boy, are not good enough. You are not up to the standards of the Whamen." And this emotion intensifies and drags you down deeper into the black. And you begin to ask, as all emotions demand you to ask, you begin to ask, why am I feeling this? What is the meaning of this pain? This is your natural craving for catharsis. Why do I suffer? You begin to ask. And there is always a reason. And the question becomes, why did the Whamen reject you? And in order to answer it, you must know the mind of the Whamen. A woman's mind was made in the jungle like yours. And a woman in a jungle is vulnerable. She needs to be protected as she takes care of children. And she needs to make sure that her children are strong. If some weak man impregnates her, that is her destiny for the rest of her life. She will have a man who cannot protect her, and her baby will not be strong and may die. So she will put all that investment into a weak child. That destiny is bleak, and her instincts know it, because many Whamen were unlucky enough to have that destiny and had terrible lives, and may even have died. And so the soul of the Whamen learned, always honor strength. Save yourself for the strongest. Save yourself for the man capable of fighting the lions. Save yourself for the man capable of surviving the weather. In fact, strength was so important in the jungle that a Whamen would often find herself loving an evil man who was at least competent over a weak man. And so hidden in her instincts is the image of a strong man. And when you approach her in your soft boyness, you reach out your hand and offer gentle propositions and desires. Her emotions compare you to the strong man. And if you do not size up, her emotions will say no. And she will say no. And you will feel rejected. And so this presents you with a choice. Two avenues that you can go down in dealing with this rejection. Your emotions will say to you, am I not good enough? your know-it-all soft boy side. Will try protect your ego from the confession and the shame that you are not good enough. You're decrepit in your current form. You need to change. The one thing that everyone hates hearing. You will protect yourself from that, and you will say no. You will ignore the fact that it could be you, and you will say she is evil. Her instincts are wrong. She is crooked and broken and monstrous. She is the one who must change, and she is like life and like the jungle. Cruel, harsh, uncaring, and monstrous. And as you walk further down this path, you will begin to stew in hate and resentment, and it will begin to eat at you. And even though you didn't want to change, you will change into something more horrible and decrepit than you could ever imagine. A soy boy. Or you can take the psychologically sophisticated avenue, and you can sacrifice your arrogance and your ego and admit that perhaps you are not juicy enough and that you need to change. Allows you to get that release, that charge of emotions, and focus on a very important question. What is it that Whamen wants? And you will find that it is a strong man, but then you will ask a deeper question. What is a strong man? And that's where it becomes mysterious, because you will notice that it's not just a juicy bodybuilder that she wants. Whamen seem to reward men with psychological strength. And so you can begin the great endeavor of articulating out what a Whamen's ideal man looks like. You will see that he is assertive. He has strong boundaries. He does not take no shit. He has ambition. He is a leader. He has a vision. He is fun. He is exciting to be around. And suddenly, you will begin to see something very important. These are all traits that you can develop. What a Whamen loves in a man is something that all men have access to. And now you see, Whamen and men are not enemies, but in fact hold each other to the highest possible standards, and thus are each other's most ruthless critics, but also greatest allies. You may be born ugly, but all of these can be built. A Whamen is imprisoned by her beauty. She will have it in abundance when she is young, but she will lose it, and she can never get that back. But you can build a personality. You can become more assertive. You can build a strong body. All of what you need can be built, but you need to find the correct psychological energy in order to build it. And that energy is the energy of the warrior. The warrior is that ruthless, fiery archetype, that monster that lives inside your psychology, that is willing to endure pain. It is that brutal energy that says, I will suffer in order to reach a higher standard. It is the soul of conquest, of victory, of ambition. I will endure the pain of lifting weights in order to make my body stronger. I will endure the pain of telling someone what I really think in order to be true to my words and make my words mean something. I will stand up for what I believe in and endure the pain of social shame and ostracization. I will take a risk and go start my business and endure the pain of scarcity, of lack of money, of lack of resources in order to be sincere to my aspirations. The warrior is the energy that makes you capable of dealing with the jungle. That energy will not appear until you leap out of that nest your mother has created. That warrior energy is the wings that appear on you when you take that leap. And a man in touch with this energy is confident that he can fight through hard times. And he is fearless in the face of risk. And now we see what all those religions wanted. They asked that question. To live is to suffer. What is the solution to suffering? And people would often say it is strength. And that is true. The strong do not suffer as much as the weak. That is the harsh rule of life. They began to see that the true source of all strength is psychological. It is that warrior energy. The energy that has a story in its head, that sees a higher standard, a purpose, a future, and is willing to suffer and endure the pain in order to achieve it. That is what conquers suffering. As Nietzsche says, to live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in the suffering. This path, this avenue is the key towards you reaching the apotheosis of your soul. Becoming a juicy boil. But the road towards such greatness is long and hard. And most men do not endure. They fail. They get crushed by the demands of the struggle. And they settle for less. And so the question is, will you?